It is very easy to create an auto-translated multilingual website within Brizy Cloud. Due to recent updates to Google, you now have to bring in the API manually, but then the auto-translation will happen, of course, automatically. Now, when we talk about the Cloud Management Console or the Google Console, that can be a tricky place. So I'm going to show you how to go about that and bring in the key. Here I have my page, and I want to make it a multilingual website. I go to my CMS, the dashboard, and then down here, you will find project settings. And from the tab at the top, you see translate. This is where we set up the settings for the entire website. Now we have Google Translate key here, which we have to bring in. Let's do this first, and then we talk about the whole translation process. You need to have a Google Cloud Console / management dashboard account. If you have Gmail, you probably have that. And you can just go to cloud.google.com and it will bring you to this dashboard. You can sign up from here. In the top right corner, select Console, or you can just Google Console Cloud and it will probably bring you here. This is where I am currently, and this is a project that I've worked with called Test 222. So the first thing you need to do is you must create a project in which this API key will be generated. Let's do that first. I go to this drop down here. And often you will find various places you can create a new project. If you see new project, just select that. And I'm going to click here on new project. The first thing we do is give it a name, and I will call this Dance Tutor. And you can leave the location and select on create. It goes through the process here of creating, and you can see it here in the top right corner. And from here, you can just click on select project. Alternatively, you go here next to Google Cloud, Dance Tutor, and you will see all your projects appear here, and you can easily navigate between these projects. We go back to Dance Tutor, and now we have to set up a few things. The first thing you need to make sure of is that this account is linked to a billing account. You're not going to pay for this Google Translate services unless you are using an incredible amount of words on your website, and that's going to be a mega website. Probably never going to happen for you, but Google wants this. Now, I've already set up my billing. So what's going to happen the moment I click on it, it's going to link my billing, my account to this project. If you have not set it up, it's going to give you the option to link or manage. The best is just to click on the link option and you go through the process where you set up all your payment details and then it is linked. Again, don't worry, you're not going to pay even for a very big website. Hardly ever going to happen. Under the billing, you can go to manage billing account and you will see all the projects that I've worked on. They are linked here to this. Go back to the dashboard, we select your Google Cloud and you can see we are still within this project of Dance Tutor. So number one, you've created the project. Number two, you've linked your billing account. And number three, now we have to activate your APIs. Under quick access, go to APIs. On the left, you will see selected for us here within the view is enabled APIs and services. That means these ones that you see here are APIs that Google has already enabled connected to this project. And you really don't care about them. You probably don't even know what they are, but they are already enabled. What you need to do, though, is you need to enable the Google Translation API. To do that, you go to the top here where it says Enable APIs and Services. Select. Scroll down to Machine Learning and then Cloud Translation API. Select. Click on Enable. And then you will see it will open the Cloud Translation API and it will say to use this API, you may need credentials. Yes, you will need credentials. What I'm going to do is under APIs and Services, I'll select Credentials. And at the top, I will select Create Credentials and select API Key. And that's it, creating your API key. Hop over to the Copy to Clipboard, select. And now we are done with our Google Console. We go back into Brizy and we paste the key. Toggle on and off just to make sure everything is there. And what you can do now is click on Save Changes. Now you've put in the Google Translate key, but nothing has happened. And two important things to understand. The first one is that you're going to set up what happens to your entire website under your dashboard project settings here under translate. That means what is the other language that you want to bring into your website or languages. Let's bring in a new translation. The language I want to set it to is Afrikaans because that's my mother tongue and I will be able to identify whether it has translated correctly. And I can click on Add Translation. Two important parts here. One, make it public. If you don't select this, no one is going to see the translation online. They won't be able to use the language switcher. So click on Make it public. We want to activate Auto Translate. Now remember, you don't need that Google Translation API. You can also just work with manual translation, but we're interested in the Auto Translate. So we need to activate that as well. And then we select here on Add Translation. In case you want to come back to this in the future, let me just show you. Click again on Translate here at the top and you will see it looks like this at this moment. And to make any changes, you just select Manage and you're back to these settings. But apart from this, also remember that translation happens on a page-by-page basis. So we have one page here. I'll go to Pages. Here is my home page. Select. And from the tab at the top, you will see we have Translate here. Currently, nothing appears here. And this is something that happens. Not always will the translation occur immediately. You may have to give it a few minutes, but it will eventually filter through. And this is where you can also set up manual translations. Once the automatic translation has filtered through, you're going to see they will all appear here. And then you can filter up here by the language. You can also decide what translation strings you want to see on this page, as well as the type, whether you want to also look at the images or just the text. Now that we've done this, let's go back to the page because we need a language switcher. And we do that by going to the Add Elements on the left and then under Content, just here at the bottom, there is our translation element. Click, hold and drag, and I'm just going to drop it here so we can see it nicely. Select it and you can make changes here in terms of the width, the height, all of the sizing things that you need here. But I'll just leave it like that. And then finally, we need to save everything that we've done. Control S, Command S. Once that is done, you can go and preview it. Language switcher, and I'll put it into Afrikaans. And look at that. There we go. That is how quickly we had done that. And if you do this regularly, you will figure out the Google console much quicker and you will get familiar with it. The truth is that if you just do this once in a blue moon, every time you're going to work with the Google console, it's going to be a hairy and scary experience. So just take a deep breath, go through those steps that I've shown you. There's also loads of documentation online. Unfortunately, the problem is the documentation goes out of date so quickly as Google makes changes to that. So often you will find documentation and it doesn't really help. So we'll do our best from our side if there are any changes to keep you informed of those changes and also to help you to set up everything nicely. And there we go. We've created our website. And I think that Google nowadays, the translation is just brilliant. This Afrikaans is better than my Afrikaans. From my side, hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.